She opens her eyes, looks at me tenderly, and a car drives past our side of the sidewalk at full speed, instinctively forcing us to take a cover because of the noise. What a psycho! He almost drove over the sidewalk. Are you okay? Claire nods in response. Well, let's go to the other side. It's a bit wider, so it'll be safer. Claire doesn't really look convinced, but she accepts it, following me while I cross the road. Halfway there, she takes my hand and forces me to stop walking. I love you, Kier. I try to turn around, but she grabs my shirt as tightly as she can and buries her face in my back. Succumbing to her embarrassment, she keeps telling me that she loves me, clearing any doubts I had as she continues yelling it into my back. I've loved you since the moment I saw you. At first I wasn't sure about it, or I didn't want to be, but I have no more doubts. Today I can say it fiercely. I want to stay with you forever, Kier. You made me feel special, and for that reason, I can't let you leave me, no matter what the cost. She pulls on my shirt, shaking as if she fears that I'll disappear any second. Claire, no. Don't say anything. Her small arms intertwine beneath my chest, squeezing on me with all of her strength. She's making it hard for me to breathe, but that doesn't matter. I've told you a million times, right? After all, to me, the most important thing is for you to be truthful. But there are some truths that hurt more than others. I look at her and carefully hold her tiny hands, managing to dislodge them off of me little by little until I can turn around. Claire's hiding under her hat again, so to make eye contact, I kneel down, embracing her hands with mine. What can I do for you, Claire? What did I do to make you fall in love with me? I don't know what I could have done for this to happen. There are things in this world that we know without facts or reasons. We can only hope that they continue being real for the rest of our lives. But I'm certain that in this case, not even time can tear my feelings away from me. I stand up, a guilty feeling suddenly welling up in my throat. Claire hugs me once more, this time from the front, resting her head against my chest and listening to my quickened heartbeat. Neither of us say anything for at least 2 minutes. I remain deaf even to the chatter of a couple pedestrians that pass us. It's the shine and softness of her hair interlaced between my fingers that grabs my attention like a treasure that I can't leave behind. The warmth of her clear skin, even just touching it through her clothes, make my sense of touch react, struggling to understand the texture of her fragile figure. Seconds later, I feel her struggling to push away. I react surprisingly and let her go, even though I don't really want to break the contact. Let's make a deal, Kier. Claire takes a deep breath, gathering the courage she needs to speak. Her voice is gentle and sweet, but somehow also solemn. I've told you how I feel, but now I want to know how you feel about me. I'd like to know your answer before we part ways on graduation day. On that day, I want to hear your answer. I want to know the truth. I won't be satisfied if you aren't sure by then. I've told you many times, I don't like half-baked answers. Whatever it is, I want it to be real. I simply nod, confused. The presence she transmits, inconceivable for her height, doesn't allow me to give any other response. I'm glad that you understand. Claire sighs in relief, lifting a weight off my shoulders. She reaches towards my hand, holding it affectionately and blushing. Meanwhile, we decide to start heading home. I don't remember when we left the narrow streets of our town, nor the time it took for us to return to our houses, considering that time itself had disappeared for the rest of the night as we walked side by side, holding hands. I never did get the answers that I was searching for, and Claire is still a stranger to me in a lot of ways, but neither of those is an excuse for me to ignore this unconventional love story that's developing right before my eyes any longer. The inevitable conclusion even has a preset date. This time, I'll have to write an ending. It seems like Kieran is getting all of the girls. Just like a harem protagonist. Is Ziva gonna confess to me now? Why'd you leave the other day, Edian? We were at the best part. I might have been late, but it was your party. You could at least said goodbye or something instead of making us do it for you. Why'd you do it? Why did you do it? Okay, let's make one thing clear. What would you say if the girl had horns? Like a bull? Getting poked could definitely be an issue for sure, but it'll be worth it for a girl who's always horny. What in the name of God are you guys talking about? Stop ignoring me. We're still going on with the ideal girl challenge we started the other day. Today's the Monster Girls edition. Wanna join in? No, I'm trying to talk about something important here, and you guys are ignoring me and discussing nonsense. It's not nonsense, Ziva. Monster girls need love too. I'm not about to be the one to deny it to them. Just what I needed. You're siding with him, Moss. Aren't you angry that he just up and left after using your house for his party? Listen here, Lamia. You know, the ones that are half girl, half snake. What do you say about them? It's the same thing as with mermaids, so I don't even care which half we're talking about. Lamia would be the same, but without the water issue. Hello? Oh, he thanked me, Ziva. What else do I need? You could at least pretend that you care about what I say. An apology, an explanation, an excuse? Give me something. After all the effort we put in, you left without a word and asked. After all the effort we put in, you left without a word and act as if that's normal. You're talking about girls that don't even exist. Harpy. But keep in mind that just like full birds, she'd have a really short memory. I was talking to you, Edian. Look in my face when I'm speaking to you. Agitated, Ziva hits my desk and gets up in my face so closely that she's all I can see. Tired of her complaints, I breathe in deeply and wait for her to go away. Sorry, I wasn't pretending to sound angry. I'll tell you the truth if that's what you want. I left, the end. It's as simple as that. It wasn't anyone else's fault. It was late and I felt like going home. Now can we go back to talking about harpies? It's quite an important question. And my answer, of course, she could take me and fly around. With her short memory, everything would feel as if it were the first time. That's an advantage in a certain way. I seriously don't understand you guys. Don't think for a second that I'm gonna give up just like that. On the contrary, you've given me another reason to worry about you as my patient. Are we going back to the patient thing? I thought we were finally done with that. You read my notebook the other day. I don't get why you keep going. Next, Os. What about a centaur? What do you say? She's more horse than woman. Come on, Campagnaro. The riding joke is too easy even for me. You only had a couple of chapters of a story about a wolf in there. It was a disappointment. So you finally admit that you read it even though you denied it earlier. Yeah, well, I read a bit, so what? It was an awful story and I hated it. Hey Ziva, I haven't read it, but could you try to make your critique a little more constructive? You was embarrassed to show us if it was for a reason. Don't worry, Oz. It's fine. I understand that not everyone will like that kind of story. In my defense though, it isn't even finished yet. But what would you say about slime? A girl with most of her body composed of a jelly-like substance. I don't know if you ever heard of them before. So, she's delicious in every sense of the word. Seriously, Kier, you have to make this harder. In fact, Jello is one of my favorite desserts, especially if I'm having a bad day. I know a pretty good place to buy jelly desserts in town, too. What do you say, Ziva? Would you like to come with me? Or rather, that's awesome. Yeah. What do you say, Ziva? Would you like to come with me? I'll let you vent your sorrows to me since you seem to be a bit angry about this. I'm sorry, Oz, but today's impossible. Thanks for the offer. Come on, Ziva. You're better than that. First you complain about how plain my goodbyes are, and then you turn down Oz without even coming up with a good enough excuse. I can't, okay? I'm already meeting someone. You don't care anyways. You don't care about anything at all, right? You guys can keep up with your girl thing. I'm gonna get ready for the next class. Ziva's acting pretty weirdly, isn't she? She's in quite the rush. I don't think I've ever seen her like this before. She's usually cheerful and never gets angry with you. No, this is right. Ziva's acting differently today, and watching how she leaves, I can't help but wonder the same thing as my classmate. Who's she gonna go meet up with? For some reason, it's weird for me to think about her as someone who goes out with others, even though I know how popular she is with everyone. People fall in love with her wherever she goes. She's probably asked out almost every day. Then why haven't I ever thought about her in that way before? I have an idea that can clear up our doubts. A fawn girl. She has goat legs and plays the flute. I'm sure you won't accept that. One question. Does she have a goatee? What? No, well, I don't really know. Does it matter? It's important. If she has a goatee, then yes. If she doesn't? Still yes. Why do you even ask? Now what's going on with Ziva? Are we going to find out? I guess not right now. Listen, Kier, what do we say we go out for a while? We're always locked up in here. It'll be nice for a change. Luz drops that idea on me as she crumples up a piece of paper and throws it atop of a pile of scraps in the garbage. I know that I'm usually the one proposing breaks every day, but some fresh air could help for once. It'll inspire us, give us new ideas and those kinds of things. She lists her reasons, speaking louder and louder as if being loud as possible will guarantee success. Then it's decided, get ready because we're going out. I haven't said anything yet. I don't know where we're going, but Luz is so happy today, I don't dare to ask. After how Ziva was acting this morning, I thought it would pretty much be the same with the other girls, especially after what happened between Luz and I in the pool. This couldn't be farther from reality. It hasn't even been brought up. It's as if it never actually happened. Maybe Ziva was overreacting earlier. I'm not that interested and I won't get anything from knowing anyway, so I choose to remain silent. Careful there, get down! Luz grabs me by the neck and forces me behind a parked car. I'm hesitant to try to figure out what's going on, but I stay silent and Luz points to the sidewalk on the other side of the road. Fairly close to us, I can see Ziva and Denise casually talking with the naturality you expect from two good friends, or, to be more precise, a couple of lovers. Ooh. Scandalous. I already knew about their friendship from before the committee's meeting, but seeing them together right now leaves me speechless and paralyzed. I can't at all react to what's going on in front of my eyes. No way! Those two are together? Do you think they're on a date? Ziva never told me about this. What's wrong? Why aren't you saying anything? Don't tell me you're jealous. Why would I be? Don't make things up. I'm just shocked, you know? Aren't you? Not really. I'm more surprised about the fact that this didn't happen sooner. A while ago, when Ziva still went to my school, the two of them would always be together, and from what I've heard, they were good friends even before I transferred in. The weird part is that they weren't dating, and it didn't really look like they were up to it either. Really odd if you ask me, considering all the years that they spent together. When I first met you, and after watching how well you get along with Ziva, I started to think that she was in love with you. That would explain it. Ziva? In love with me? Are you kidding? Look here, Ziva's so beautiful. What I don't get is how you don't love her. How can you explain that someone of her attractiveness talks to you and puts up with all your jokes? Don't you think she has too much patience with you? You also put up with me too, so I could ask you the same thing. But I know how to keep you in check, dumbass. Instead, Ziva just goes along with it, something that she doesn't do with anyone but you. I've seen you call her every name in the book, and even after all that, she stays by your side and smiles. Don't tell me that you haven't noticed. I try to refute her claim, but instead gulp loudly, unable to answer. And what would you know about a woman's heart anyways? I doubt you even know how a relationship works. That's not true. I had a relationship. Once. Fictional characters don't count. But my waifu... I'm serious. We didn't get too far, but it did happen, I guess. You know that anime figurines don't count as real living humans, right? But it's real to me, Luz. Don't look at me like that. I swear it's true. It's not like I can really talk about them when I've only had one at this age, and you and everyone else already been in a few, but... not so fast. Who said I ever had anything with anyone? Are you serious? None? Yes, is that a problem? No, not at all. It's just that you seemed so certain earlier that it caught me off guard. You okay? Don't talk to me like I'm sick. It's not something I'm embarrassed about, you know? I'm just not the kind of girl who would go out with the first funny guy that crosses her path. And it's just so weird to see something like that happening. You probably kissed a guy or two before though, don't lie to me. Luz looks at me and tilts her head sideways for a moment and then dismissively shakes her head. She protects her convictions with pride, but probably because of the private nature of our conversation, her cheeks turn red and she tries to distract me before I can continue asking any more questions. Hey, they're leaving. Let's follow them. Wouldn't it be best to greet them and ask what they're up to? No way! We have to catch them red-handed. If after so many years they said nothing, then they won't suddenly admit it. Don't give up. Or do I have to remind you that you stalked me a while ago? I knew you used that against me. I was wondering... I don't know. What happened at the pool? Staying with her forever? Was that... meaning friendship? Because it seems like Luz admitted to having feelings for Karen as well. Or maybe I'm just overthinking it. I don't know. Keeping our distance, we follow our targets all the way to the shopping mall. It seems that Alpha and Charlie are heading underground. I repeat, Alpha and Charlie are heading underground, over. Roger that. The stairway to go underground is narrow, so we can't go together for the mission. Bravo. Deploy and make an inspection of the field first. Over. Roger. Deploying. Wait, who's Bravo? You're Bravo. Me? What if I'm caught? You'll be remembered as the brave hero you were. Well, that explains Bravo. Makes sense. No. Don't worry, Bravo. I'll cover you. Finally, at least someone's gonna. What are you doing here? I've been following you as always, Claire. I've been following you as always. I thought it was gonna be Oz, but well, it's Claire. I'm really worried about that as always part, but this isn't the best time to talk about it. Exactly. We may lose the targets if we don't pay close attention to them. Let's hurry up. Oh, so there, Oz did come too. And of course, the last idiot is here too. Why didn't anyone tell me that the stupid parade's up today, huh? The stupid parade, I guess. As in parades of stupid people. Anyway, I've been really worried about Ziva since this morning, so I've been following her. To think that Denise was responsible. Tell me something, Compagnaro. How many years is a murder sentence? The only person you'll kill at this rate is me. Can we leave the chit-chat for later? We're losing them. We raise our heads in unison like a mob of meerkats. Unable to see either Charlie or Alpha, we all come out of our hiding place at the same time and make our way down to the lower level using the escalators. The atmosphere gets stuffier and our visibility decreases to only the neon lights of the arcade. Oh. My memories of this place as a child had it pegged as a paradise, a place where I could spend hours wasting money on racing and fighting games. Now, however, there are pool tables and TVs with soccer matches on them that take up the most space. Only a few survivors from my time still remain here, and most of them with signs stating that they're out of order. No one ever actually planning on reviving them. Nostalgia hits me when I realize the world still evolves even when I look away, but aren't I also partially guilty for forgetting about this place too? I can see them! They walk past the bar counter. Following Claire's lead, we approach a counter located near the end of the room. It's used as both a lounge bar as well as a customer service desk in case any of the arcade machines start malfunctioning. Our targets went past that area and now hiding somewhere in the darkness, behind some of the arcade machines in an even deeper corner of the arcade. Worried about making a false move, we all stand in the counter as if we're interested in checking out the selection of drinks, while trying to covertly watch our targets. It's during this time that, from what we thought was an unoccupied counter, up pops a familiar-looking man as he cleans a glass of a white cloth, a muscular build, not a single hair on his head. Is it the cop again? I guess it is. I mean, wasn't he working as a security guard at the mall too? So I guess he has another part-time job as a bartender. Want something to drink? Oh, it's the bald officer. Aren't you supposed to be finding people? His serious expression together with his impressive build makes us recognize him instantly. It's the same officer that stopped us when we borrowed Luce's father's car to bring justice. He's wearing a really tight white shirt with a black bow tie, the kind you expect from a bartender in a movie. Hey boss, do you have a twin brother that works in law enforcement by any chance? I don't know what you're talking about. I'm a very busy man, so if you wouldn't mind, what can I get for you? He might have gotten a new job. Don't you remember this guy, sir? You know, he was driving the other day. I said, what can I get for you? I think I can see the glass he's holding starting to crack while his deep voice drills deep into our bones, waking up even the most basic survival instincts in us. Let's just say that I'm scared shitless, so I can't help but try to meet his expectations by sitting at the counter and trying to not look like I'm following anyone. I'm too scared of what he'd do. I'll take a whiskey on the rocks, and don't be shy, okay? Since when have you drank alcohol on an empty stomach, Compagnaro? Shut up. I'm trying to save your asses and save face. You don't want to attract any more attention to us, do you? If we make ourselves look like tough guys, then he won't want to keep serving us or meddle in our business. This way, we might be able to keep our targets under control. Do you understand? I exchange looks with Oz, who nods, acknowledging my words. He takes a seat next to me, resting his elbow on the counter with a strong conviction, making his request and seeming full of himself. Bring me a gin and tonic. But no gin, and don't be shy with it. That's just a tonic then. Appearances, Kier. Appearances. You didn't understand anything.
And you, miss?
What, me? Why me? The bartender suddenly stops cleaning, then puts his washcloth on his shoulder and carries a glass closer to a sink that we can't see under the counter. Silence accompanies the sound of the glass splitting into a million pieces. Yes, of course, then water is fine. No, I mean carbonated water. Whatever you want. Please don't kill me. The bartender is able to spread terror amongst us just by smiling and nodding, especially once we notice the next victim in line being overshadowed by him. The short girl, nothing compared to such a humongous monster, nervously shakes from the great expectations put on her request at the moment.
I'll have I want pineapple juice.
We all astonishedly look at Claire for ordering something that no one would ask for a place like this.
Wasn't the game supposed to be asking for healthier stuff than the previous order?
It may have been because of the pressure in the moment, but I can't help but giggle at the absurdity of what Claire had said, attracting the attention of the people around me, including the bartender. Good thing that our friend here, the Man of Steel, decides to serve my drink with such strength that I swear I saw the whiskey jump up a few feet, causing me to forget about giggling as my life flashed before my eyes. Care? No, I'm in a life or death situation. We're supposed to be going incognito. The idea is not to attract any attention. Someone taps on my shoulder as they say my name, and of course, knowing my luck, it can only be Denise and Ziva, both of them glaring at us with raised eyebrows. Incognito? Don't tell me you've been following us, Idiot. No, nothing like that, Ziva. Who do we think we are? We were playing, of course. We came here to play video games at the arcade together. What else could it be? Are you serious? That's great. Ziva, it's obvious they're lying. They got us. We exchanged looks and sighs as we're admitting that we can only give up. For some reason, the idea of 4 of us gathering is so ridiculous that we didn't even try to defend it. We already knew that Ziva was the core of our group, the leader, and without her, none of us would ever take the initiative. She, however, didn't seem to think that way, her face showing genuine sadness as we tell her the truth, sadness that she tries to hide under her always smiling facade. Did you think I was on a date with Diz? No way. The two of us met up to organize a couple of things for graduation. We aren't the main representatives from each school for nothing, and we didn't want to bother you guys with every little problem that may arise. To be precise, she was feeding all of her stupid plans that, well, you guys will see them with your own eyes.
Why'd you come all the way out here instead of meeting at the school like usual?
I get depressed if I spend too much time in the classroom, you know? It's not like a bad idea to have fun while we talk about other things. This way, it's also easier to make it look like I'm listening while I'm distracted. You know how much Ziva rants, right? It's better than watching you fall asleep while I talk. At least here, I can keep you awake. It's better than watching you fall. Anyway, let's forget about that stuff for now. Why don't all of us play together since we're here? Without even an ounce of irritation or disgust, on the contrary, keeping the usual coolness and keenness that characterizes her, Ziva proposes an offer that we can't refuse. You don't really mind what we did, Ziva? You aren't even a little bit annoyed that we doubted you? Your spirit differentiates you from everyone else, and makes you a unique and priceless treasure that only few can enjoy for nothing. I'm sorry, Ziva. I can't help but to hate that part of you.
Sorry, but can someone please pay up?
The rough voice of the bartender causes all of us to shiver, one that makes us scared for our lives. Taking the bull by the horns, I turn around and face him as he stands behind the counter. I look into his eyes while I pick up the glass of whiskey. Don't worry, boss. I have everything under control. Us, pay the bill.
What? Why me?
It's been a pleasure knowing you, buddy. I'll take the others somewhere safe. I trust you. The sound of liquid pouring catches the attention of the audience, us, and I turn my eyes only to discover that Claire is suddenly pouring her pineapple juice in with my whiskey.
Don't be so cheeky. Pay your tab, Kier.
What are you doing? I was joking. I'll pay. It's not just the apple juice, the carbonated water, tonic, and even some snacks that came from who knows where. Claire pours all of them into my glass while my friends laugh. While they laugh, I watch as the color of my drink darkened, losing its precious, magnificent golden color, now filled with some bubbles, some other weird food stuff dissolving into my whiskey gumbo. I begrudgingly pull out my wallet and place it on the counter next to my undrinkable whiskey. Are you leaving it there? That's such a waste of food. Well, what do you want me to do? I'm not gonna drink that.
That'd be a great idea. Do it as an apology for leaving abruptly from your own birthday party the other day.
You didn't even care earlier.
Yes, as an apology for stalking Ziva without her permission, too.
You think you can talk? It wasn't my idea in the first place. I'm in favor of that idea. Ziva definitely deserves an apology for how you usually treat her anyways. You just want to see me suffering. Don't look at me. You can do whatever you want, Idiot. I might have complained a little this morning, but it was just our usual back and forth. I didn't really mind. Ziva takes a step back and shows her hands with an expression that automatically acquits her of any charges, and that also makes me feel pretty guilty. I pensively look at the thick, orange fizzy liquid that's closer to a witch's potion than anything else. Now I have to swallow that thing because of the stupid, damn peer pressure. I choose not to think about it any longer and inhale it with a single gulp, leaving my fate entirely up to destiny. Hey, it's kinda good. Wasn't that much of a punishment after all. It wasn't that bad. It's easy. You need a good sense of rhythm more than reflex. Sense of rhythm? I couldn't even see the arrows moving. Crap, and again this time. I'm playing Dance Dance Revolution. Denise and Luz are competing in a music game where they have to tap some arrows according to the melody. I guess not really like literally Dance Dance Revolution, but some kind of rhythm game. But competing probably isn't the most accurate word for it. Even playing on the maximum difficulty, Denise never misses an arrow. Now do you believe me when I say that he won't listen to me unless I bring him here? All the high scores on this game are probably his. You aren't bad either. You aren't bad either, Ziva. Considering that I'm just letting you guys win, of course. In fact, being Luz's first time, I think she's doing pretty well. It's just that Denise is on another level. I mean, he's covering his yawns and he still doesn't miss anything. Like, seriously. I can't believe it, I lost. Oh well, who's up next? I'd say one of those two, but it doesn't seem like they're willing to do anything. Listen, Claire, try to remember. Think about what you did, step by step.
I've already told you that I don't remember, Kier.
It's important. There's money on the line. What exactly did you put in my drink?
I already told you that I used everything I had at hand. I wasn't paying attention at all, but I'm pretty sure there was more than the snacks you saw.
We're probably talking about the best drink ever made, Claire. I'm suffering with withdrawals here and I need a dose. He's been like that ever since he drank his whiskey gumbo. At least now he's admitting his dependence. I'll try to convince him. Leave it to me. Hey, you, junkie. Your turn. Not now, Luz. I have some important business here. Don't tell me that you're scared to lose after all the beatings you've gotten in all the games we played up until now. I'm not a little kid. Taunting me won't get you anywhere. Look, we've been playing for a while now, and I've already spent too much money already. considering that the student life doesn't really let you indulge. But if Claire managed to remember what she put in my glass, then money was not being a problem. Don't you see that we can get rich with that recipe? I'm such a genius. If money is such a problem, then let's only play one last game, so I can make up for losing that last round against Denise. If that's your issue, you can play with anyone else, right? Yeah, but it's easier and funnier for me to beat you instead. You're so kind. Be careful about who you're underestimating. I challenge you to any game you want, the one you're best at. We'll see who's underestimating who. I ponder Luce's proposal for half a second, moving my eyes to one of the arcade machines behind her. What are you looking at? Want to play that game over there? The game Luce is talking about has 2 large screens and 4 plastic toy guns in front of it. The numerous explosions and gunshots together with the insert coin screen makes it pretty clear what kind of game it is, and based on Luce's expression, it's the game that she'd like to play. It looks fun. It's decided then, let's go play. I haven't decided anything, but whatever. It requires 4 players though. Do you guys want to join us, Ziva, Day, and Diz? Are you sure? I must warn that I'm pretty good at this one. Even more reason for you to join. That way the 3 of us can ally against Kira and guaranteed victory. Right, Diz? We aren't playing against each other. It's us 4 playing against NPCs. What we do is fight to see who gets the biggest score. It depends on how many enemies we kill and stuff. Seriously? What a letdown. It would be better if it was against each other. Who cares? I'll win even if it's the biggest score or whatever. Joining or not? I'm good, but the one you challenged was Kieran. You should ask him. All eyes are on me, waiting for my permission as if I hold some kind of authority. I scratch the back of my neck before clicking my tongue and unwillingly giving them an answer. Do I have a choice anyways? Now let's get this game going already. I'm warning you now that I'm aiming for a perfect score here, so I won't make this easy for you. Denise and Ziva smile while I listen to my declaration, and then they pick up the 2 guns on the left side. Luce, however, doesn't seem to understand what exactly I was talking about, but she's happy to see that we're all ready and picks up her gun after Ziva does. I then do the same and pick up the very last gun on the right side. Besides the gun, there's a pedal for each player to step on. They need to step on it to shoot and release to take cover and reload. While I make sure that everything's in order, someone grabs my shirt and forces me to bow my head down. Good luck here. Think you can do it? Of course, why not? Do you think I can lose? Claire shakes her head and closes her eyes and smiles. No, I'll be rooting for you, okay? Claire's voice is sweet and delicate. She speaks to me, and only me, with that soft tone so that no one else can hear us. At least my support is better than that of my competition. Ziva's explaining how the game works to Luce when a pair of arms wrap around them and hug them at their shoulders. I'll be rooting for you ladies. If either of you win, then I'll give you a kiss. For the loser, they'll get a consolation kiss. What do you think? I suddenly wish that these guns were real. Don't you think so too, Luce? Amen to that. Then I'll just cheer for you two. But I'll leave the offer open in case either of you changes your mind, okay? Each of us takes a coin and puts them into our respective coin slots. The game menu opens, waiting for all 4 of us to join, and then opens the game screen as soon as we shoot towards the middle of each of our screens. So Kier and I have to look at the rightmost screen and Diz and Ziva to leftmost, right? Or leftmost one, right? Correct? That means that we can look at each other's characters on their screens. Shouldn't I be able to shoot you guys then? I thought this game was cooperative. Well, technically yes, we can shoot each other, but you can't actually kill anyone's character. Instead, it'll reduce your score for every time after you hit them, or that you hit them. Friendly fire? That's weird. How does it work like that? Usually, the shoot 'em up games at arcades are usually just like one perspective. You know, I think is there, I don't know, is there an arcade game like that? Where there's like two perspectives in one machine?
That's so lame.
Anyways, I'm ready, so prepare to be humiliated. Humiliated. Why can't I say that? Humiliated? Luce acts cocky as the countdown proceeds. She then gets into position, prepared to shoot at anything that moves. But as soon as the game starts, she can't even react. She loses her grip, letting her shoulders drop as she tries to comprehend the situation in the video game. It's not that the game's too hard, she didn't forget how it works either, it's just that the enemies are dying before she even has the chance to see them. Denise stands sideways, stretching his arm out and aiming with only one hand, stepping on his pedal to reload during short breaks with his right foot. Ziva holds her gun close to her eyes and aims with incredible high precision without actually losing any speed in the process either. And finally I, with a more orthodox stance that's no less effective, use my weight to help step on the pedal using the least amount of time necessary, optimizing my time so that I can attack and advance as quickly as possible. The loud noises from shooting make every other sound seem quieter. None of us are using only one shot per enemy, but as many as we manage. That way we can try to get the largest amount of points possible. Each of our screens are cleared at a dramatic speed, while our scores are illegible from their numbers increasing non-stop. We soon reach the first level's boss, a jerk whose attacks don't even reach us before they're stopped. A moment later, his health bar goes down to the bottom, giving us the first of many victories that await us ahead. Very intense game. The screen then shows us the amount of kills and points we got during level 1, delivering truly unbelievable news. 3 of us got the same exact score. And, well, Luce could even pull the trigger in the few seconds during which all of it took place. What the? Didn't you say you were gonna humiliate us? I don't even know what happened. How many hours have you dedicated to this game to be able to play it like that? Oh, it's been a long time since the last time I played, but a fair bit back in the old days. Not that many at all, but I've always had good aim and I really enjoy these kinds of games. It's all about rhythm, told you before. You're all pulling my leg, right? Next round starting. Get ready, and remember that even if someone else kills your target before you, you can still get points from hitting the enemy for it before it disappears. Don't start yet, I can't get hold of this that quickly. Hey Claire, do you understand anything?
Are you talking to me? What do you mean?
Those 3 in this game. Do you know anything about this?
From what I know, the game isn't that hard if you know where the enemies spawn. It's not so much skill as it memory. That doesn't change the fact that it's hard to stay alive and how important it is not to miss a shot or lose a life if you don't want to break your combo. When the combo multiplier is high, you get more points from each kill, but it'll go back to 1 once your combo breaks. This far into the game, if one of them misses even a single shot, it means they'll lose. You seem to know a lot about this, Claire.
That's not exactly what I was talking about, but I guess that's good to know. Don't tell me that you also know how to play the game, Claire.
What do you think?
Claire is probably the best at this game, maybe. Unexpectedly. The game continues the same as it started. Luce manages to get some points from time to time. She even gets used to the fast pace and manages to get some combos that not just any novice will be able to pull off. But her renewed sense of confidence comes with price when, fighting against the next boss, she doesn't take cover before a huge explosion.
What was that?
Well, the red flash means you lost a life, but you still have 2 more left.
I already noticed that part. I meant that attack, it was incredibly unfair. What do you expect after shooting all those red barrels? Everyone knows that red barrels always explode if you attack them. If it's that obvious, then why do the enemies always walk near them at every damn opportunity?
That's a mystery that will never be solved, Luz. We deal with all the other bosses one by one, without too much of a hassle, until we reach the last level. From here on out, all of the different areas become narrow and full of enemies. We're all showing signs of fatigue, and we have to improve our focus if we want to put on a good show. Then there's a moment where our characters split up into two groups and take different paths, so what Denise and Ziva see on their screen is different from what Luz and I see on ours. This will be a good opportunity to get some extra points over those two, if it wasn't for the fact that even though our paths are different, we're still fighting in the same place against the same enemies. This, however, gives me an idea. His outstretched arms gives him away. Even if Denise is the place farthest away from me, from the corner of my eye, I can see the movements of his arms going right and left, depending on where the enemies come from. Thanks to my memories of the game, I start counting all of the enemies that appear without having to look away from Denise's arms. It's then that I see it, the enemy that appears on my screen, but because he's behind some boxes on the left, he's hidden from the players using the other screen. He's coming directly at me, and it won't be long before they can see him too. I could shoot it and get some points, but I have another idea. I switch weapons and equip a shotgun while I look at Denise's arm, sideways. He goes up, then down, then left, then finally right. I try not to shoot until the second his gun stops moving. The very moment I see the signal that he's about to shoot, then... I fire at the enemy's chest, pushing him back at the very moment he appears on the other screen, forcing Denise to miss his shot by the skin of his teeth. Nani? There goes my combo. You got me there. Now this is a game for two. I wish you luck, but that doesn't mean we won't keep rocking anyways, right, Luz? The entire group is amazed. They don't understand that it was me who forced Denise to miss, except for one person, the last opponent I have left to defeat. So I guess what it's like, cause I'm thinking like I've never seen a arcade shoot 'em up game where there's two perspectives, so I don't know how this actually works. But I guess what Karen did was like knock the enemy as Denise was like memorizing the patterns, right? So it messed them up. But now we're facing Ziva. Ziva chuckles as she realizes that this game has just become a battle between she and I. The pressure from the last part of the game doesn't hinder us as our scores continue increasing. On the contrary, it motivates us to be the best we can and extend past our limits. When we finally reach the final boss, it seems like it's impossible to stop us, and our only fear is the probable tied scores we're gonna get, unless something changes. Right before the coup de grace, is that how you say coup de grace? Coup de grace? I think it's coup de grace. That inconceivable change actually happens. I'm sorry, Idian. Her voice is natural and calm. She takes a second and inhales deeply before shooting one last time. It's not the coup de grace or finishing the great evil final boss, but another character. Mine. My screen flashes red for half a second, but that color sticks in my mind for what seems to be an eternity. It's the signal that I've lost a life, that I've been hit and lost my combo, the signal that I lost my chance at the perfect game at the very moment that I was about to finally put an end to this game. The credits roll and everyone but Ziva looks at the final video perplexedly. She, in fact, is covering her stomach while trying to contain her laughter the best that she can. What do you think of that? It's a small trick you can do right before the ending. A glitch where you can KO one of the other players. Pretty cool, huh? I'm livid. I stare at Ziva despite the fact that she's trying to evade eye contact. Wait, does that mean that you won and Kara's in second place? Wasn't that impossible anyways? I can't believe that you cheated right before the end of the game, Ziva. It wasn't so much cheating as it was a great prank. And only a moment ago I didn't believe that you could do something like that to Kira.
It's great, don't get me wrong, but it was unexpected, girl. Come on, whether or not I got a perfect game isn't important. For me, success comes from us having played it together. The rest are minute details. Also, not everything is how it seems. Don't speak so prematurely. Also, I read that as minute. Is it minute details or minute details? I know minute means minor, right? So, is it? I don't know. I'm an idiot, so whatever. So not everyone's how it seems. So prematurely. Ziva gestures to her left with a head movement. We redirect our attention back to the screens where the credits are finally coming to an end. And once they're done, the leaderboard and points scores appear, showing that I'm the winner and I have the first position. What you saw was a graphical error. It might have seemed like I shot you, but I didn't actually. In fact, the only one that lost points there was me for shooting a player character. I could never betray you, Edian. You know that, right? Her hands intertwine behind her while she puts on a wide smile, surrounded by silence created by the two of us. So in the end, it doesn't really matter. Everyone around us laughs or gets surprised, and nobody can believe what had happened. Ziva was just teasing me. A small prank, a childish game that everyone treats as such. Except me. I throw a really strong punch to the arcade machine's side with my fist, managing to make it stagger a little despite its size. The whispers stop. Everyone feels intimidated and somehow scared when they witness a side of me that they've never seen before, or that's how it appears. My demeanor changes after a few seconds. Damn, that really hurt. I cover my hand and wince in pain. What are you staring at? I nearly broke my hand. I'm a sore loser, so I had to vent it somehow. I really believe that I lost for a second, you know? I think I might even be bleeding. Am I stupid or what? I'll go to the bathroom and rinse it with water or something. Be right back. They asked me if I'm alright, but I insisted that it's nothing, and my attitude was just a work of my bad temper and competitiveness wreaking havoc. I promised them that I'll return in a couple of minutes, rejecting the kind offers of those that wish to accompany me. And while I walk away, I wonder if they believed any of those excuses. Because I sure didn't. What are you really angry about, Kieran? After coming out of the bathroom, I sit down on one of the benches in the shopping mall, watching people pass by. I don't have any actual interest in returning to the gloomy arcade. The skylights on the high ceiling shine down upon people as if they're stars on a concrete firmament, except for the pale skin of a girl who's always shielded under her hat and is able to follow me to the end of the world. How are you, Kier? Good, thanks for your concern. My dry answer cuts off any possible dialogue despite being entirely unintentional, so I try to break the ice with a joyful tone. Although I don't know why, you ask. Didn't you say before that you can read me like an open book and that I can't deceive you? I was trying to be polite. I'm a bona fide lady after all. I'm surprised that you haven't realized that yet. You're good at hiding it. Boo! If you act like that, then I'll leave. I chuckle, and make some space on the bench so Claire can sit next to me. She does so, and after clearing her throat, she keeps talking and trying to sound more adult than her appearance would lead you to believe. While we're at it, I'm going to show you what I meant when I said that you can't hide anything from me, because I never lie, and I'm tired of you always taking me so lightly. For starters, right now you aren't worried about yourself, or what the others may be thinking about your sudden mood swing. You're only worried about Ziva. I dedicate a sideways yet sharp glare to Claire. A glare to Claire. That rhymes. But she ignores it and keeps picking my brain apart. There's something that has changed. Feelings that you didn't take seriously before now. To be precise, Ziva's feelings for you. Really? What? When did we learn this?
All that from the game, from the arcade game? Huh. I don't know what's going on. Well, I kind of guessed it that Ziva probably had feelings for Kieran and probably Luz, and well, we know Claire. It's like this is pretty much a harem at this point. You don't know what those feelings mean or what they'll bring, since you two have completely different views of what makes up a perfect world, what everything entails. I can't get used to this. It must be a joke when the crazy, innocent, and absent-minded girl suddenly becomes this serious and hits me straight in the gut with her painful honesty. I defensively fold my arms in, frowning a little, and trying to bring down the immovable, mysterious wall that surrounds her, despite my past records of failure. And what about you, Claire? Are you okay with all this?
Yeah, you're right. I can't stay quiet about it. But you should understand that there's no love without empathy, which in turn is the first step for sacrifice. Being able to give and reject anything for that special someone is also one of the rules of love, no matter how unfair it may seem. Curiously, Ziva said the same thing not too long ago. I wasn't trying to say anything you didn't know. I was just reading your thoughts after all, wasn't I? And you aren't worried about what you saw? I don't just mean my worries about Ziva, but about how I might feel about her. Of course. There's nothing I can do. Because I'll never be able to understand what even you don't. I quickly tap against the floor with one of my feet, even more bewildered than what I had originally started this conversation. However, Luz is the one, as noisy as always, appears during the middle of our dialogue, relieving me of my sudden extreme discomfort. Here you are, schmuck. We were starting to think that you left without saying anything again. What are you two doing here? Next time, you should bring him back even if you have to drag him, Claire. Oh, I'm sorry. We were talking and I lost track of time. My fault. Were you guys worried back there or what? Oh, not in the slightest. We were just surprised by how you acted, but, well, we're all human after all. Ziva was actually the first one to forget about it. Now she's beating everybody's asses at pool. Sometimes I think we should have that woman beautified. Or beatified? 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 What does that mean? I actually have no idea. You know, when I see a word I actually have no, well, not all of the time, but I guess I really want to know now, because I think that's pretty important. Beatified? What does that mean? Beatified. Google, help me. Help me, Google. In the Roman Catholic Church, announce the beatification of, canonize, bless, sanctify, hallow, consecrate. I guess like, I don't know, like recognition according to the Catholic Church. I still don't know much about this. Recorded the will of dead person's entrance into heaven. People who pray to her. I don't know. I guess it's just a religious word. I'm not a very religious person, so I don't know. Beatify, apparently. Beatified. And you know, now that I think about it, there is a lot of like, well, not okay. I was gonna say religious references, but not really religious. It's like more so mythological references, I guess, about miracles and praying and all that. Anyway, in my case, I was bad-mouthing you this entire time instead. You're telling me that so casually? Don't exaggerate it. It's just that you're just a nasty piece of work. I'm being serious though. Do you remember, for example, when the other day, during the committee meeting, she took Claire and I out with her? I thought she wanted to tell us something privately, but that couldn't be farther from the truth. She looked at me for a couple of seconds with those big eyes of hers and thanked me. That's all. Yeah, I was wondering, what? I guess you talked about nothing during that time? I thought it was really weird at first. It really seemed like she was speaking from her heart. All that for helping her with the committee and bringing lazy Denise there for once. I wanted to believe that meant more, but I guess she's just like that. She has this thing where she's more worried about the group than herself.
Don't ask me why it's like this, but it's part of her. I dare say that she takes it farther when it comes to you, Kier. That's why I said those things earlier. The only weird person here is you, running away from everything like you're as good as Houdini. You could tell Ziva, or you should tell Ziva what's bothering you. There's nothing bothering me. I lie. Why do you think that I didn't mind when you left the party without saying anything first? I can't be the only one realizing this, right, Claire?
I have a pretty good idea of what you're saying.
Then you've also reached the same conclusion. I knew it wasn't just my imagination. What are you ladies even talking about? Running away from a basketball match? Hurriedly leaving the committee? Leaving your own birthday party? And I've even heard from time to time you played hooky when given the opportunity. I wasn't born yesterday, you know. I asked around and found out that you know how to swim, and if you didn't, I couldn't accept that someone could drown in a private pool as if they were a ton of bricks. Well, I would. Me, like the guy on the internet speaking with this voice. I would probably drown. But I guess Kieran was lying. I guess because I think Luz was trying to, it was sort of like a confession, in that pool. But well, Kieran ran away. Lied about his drowning. Everything made sense when I saw you in that Speedo. I'm talking about that scar you have in your leg. That's the real reason that you can't swim. If there's one thing that I've learned about you up till now, it's how prideful you are. You don't want to tell anyone what kind of accident you got in to get that injury, but it's so obvious that it wasn't anything normal. It hurts a lot, right? You don't want anyone finding out, so you come up with stupid excuses, when it becomes unbearable. You always try to get away when you can. No explanations given. Am I very far from the truth? I shake my head in denial, peering towards the scar, although I can't see it under the fabric of my pants. No, you're right. Too right, to be honest. Well, I'm not stopping there. I could even tell you where exactly you had that accident. It was at the abandoned library, in the ruined wing. Close to that piano, am I right?
Library? A piano?
A shiver runs all throughout my body. Both of my hands clench against my knees as I hear Luz mention that place. How did you know? Who told you that, Luz? No one. I figured it myself by thinking about it. I could deduce that much solely from your behavior. You kept insisting that I needed to be careful and not to go too far away from the library, and there's that one time you were looking for me, but then you laugh your ass off when talking about how you almost killed a teacher during a desk race, or when the police caught you stealing a car. Ziva was the one who told me about the desk race if you were worried, but I don't think that was a secret. What I don't get is why you're so worried about others finding out. You shouldn't be embarrassed, you know. I chuckle. I never would imagine that I'm so predictable. It's not embarrassment, Luz, it's... I can't stand when people look at me with pity, or give me that condescending special treatment you get when people find out that you're different. It's convenient, sure, but maybe too convenient. After all, you can claim that all your mistakes are because of your handicap. It's an ace you can keep for any situation. If I get angry, it's not my fault, but that of the pain in my leg. If I'm mistaken, it's not my fault, but that of the pain of my leg. If I run away, it's not my fault, but that of the pain in my leg. The excuses that will make you weak. You won't learn anything as long as you have that scapegoat. Even if there are times when I wish I could blame all of my problems on one single cause. It simply can't be that way. Even if the pain from that day tortures me and follows me everywhere without ever dulling, I can keep walking the same path as you or even anyone else. My condition isn't so bad as to cause me to become a burden or a victim. I could never accept if that happened. Just like you said that one other time, it wouldn't be fair. Not to me nor anyone else. Is that true, Kier? Is it really that important? Listen to this girl, Kier. I'm sure you're just overthinking it. No one's gonna treat you like an invalid, and even if we did, you just have to deal with it. It's not anything like to start crying over. You really don't know how to treat others with compassion, do you? That's your fault. Excuse me. The way you're handling this irritates me, and that's because it reminds me of myself. I like to tell you to stop being so wishy-washy about this, that you should let us know if you're hurting. Stop being so roundabout over things that don't even matter much. But I'm not the one to talk. I'd be the first to hide even the most stupid of things, just because I don't want anyone to get the wrong idea, so you're off the hook for now. But I think you should at least talk to Ziva. She's someone you can trust, so don't give it too much thought, even if she gets a little annoying with her psychoanalysis and endless ranting. Maybe, but when the time is right. Lucy's response is accompanied by her putting her hands on her hips and leaning to the side like she does whenever she's unconvinced. I don't trust you. Not at all. Stop being boring and do what I tell you for once. I'm not boring. Then prove it. You've become so predictable that I'm not surprised by anything you do anymore. I'll definitely give you a really nice surprise one of these days, woman. Also, you already know that I don't go back on my word once I've committed to it. Luce laughs. I like to believe that all of this is just her way of trying to cheer me up. If that really is the case, she succeeded. Well, shall we go back now? Or rather, should we go back now? That's just Kieran. I stand up and call out to Claire, who's been deep in thought for a while for some unknown reason. In the end, the three of us return to the underground arcade, and the committee is reunited once again, with the objective of having fun. Ziva greets me enthusiastically. It's as if she forgot about my outburst earlier. I can't remember the last time I saw her like this. It makes me wonder what I know about her and what she means to me. But it might be too late to question that now.